Hey guys, it's Paolo. So I am so excited because you all know I love watching The View. Well, today I am talking to the one and only Sara Haines. Now, it's holiday time, so of course we're gonna keep it festive, talk about the crazy election, and talk about The View. So you guys, take a little time and enjoy a spoonful of Paolo with Sara. Okay, are you ready? Yes?
I'm ready.
Okay, I want to start by saying, Sara Haines, I am so excited to have you on A Spoonful of Paolo because I have been following your career, for a long time. When you were on the fourth hour of the Today Show, to being on ABC News, GMA, on The View, then you did GMA3, then you came back on The View. Like, you're just so much fun to watch. You are the real deal. So I'm so excited that we get to talk. Like, I'm really excited.
Oh.
Yeah.
You literally are an OG fan because you just listed my resume, so I believe you.
Oh, I did. I did. You're right. And so I want to start by saying I am so happy that you are back on The View because when you left us, I think it was in August of 2018, I was like, no. And I know you were going off to do like amazing things, but it's so good having you back on The View. When you came back, were you nervous? Like, because it is a crazy time right now. We have the pandemic and you were coming back into the election that we just had. Or were you like, I got this. This is going to be awesome. I know what I'm going to do. Like, how did you feel coming back?
I think if I ever were to come back and not be nervous, it's probably time for me to go. Because if you truly revere the show the way I did as a fan, watching it since the beginning, admiring and holding in awe the women that have sat at that table, the responsibility of the conversations, especially right now, I was petrified. And I think it was because I felt so lucky to have been here the first time. And aside from the offer I got, I didn't plan on leaving the show. And so to have come back a second time, it almost felt too good to be true. And in the throes of the year that is 2020, I was really nervous. And I remember telling my husband after the first day back that I was physicalizing stress so much that my thighs were twitching. Wow. And here it's a place I'd been before. I had been with the exact cast of people that are on the show right now, but nothing stands still in life. And so much had changed. And I felt that I kind of had to earn my seat at the table again.
Wow. I remember you tweeted when you came back on The View, you tweeted, you said, I will always approach every hot topic with an open heart and reasonable mind. I won't let the fury of our current moment consume my ability to clearly and fairly assess a story. Do you feel like you've been able to still stick with that, since being back?
I absolutely do, because I think these last 4 years are unprecedented in our lifetime. The divide, there's always been division. Many of these issues never truly were gone anyway. They're being, kind of reawakened. So, but the fervor and the anger and the emotion, good therapists will tell you, not to have conversations when you're emotional. That's why we tell kids, calm down, count to 10, step away. But as grown adults in the political sphere right now, talking at dinner or in a job, we're speaking through a lens of anger. And I always say it's okay for anger and passion to be the fuel in your tank, but not the lens in which you view the world. And that is a handicap. It's a disability of ours that we're so angry right now we can't see straight. So I try to step away from the metaphorical, issue or table and really calm down, take away some of my emotion because I'm an emotional person, and say, let's be fair. Let's not decide where we end before we look at everything in front of us. Let's not decide based on what people think you believe politically or not. Let's not decide on the fact that to address a certain topic as okay might endorse an administration or a political party that doesn't deserve it. We have to show that reasonable minds need to prevail because it's the thing we're lacking and complaining about in other people.
Yeah, it's true. What's so crazy, Sarah, is that 4 years ago yesterday, I interviewed Joy. I was there and I interviewed Joy. And we were both a little, we were sad. It was like Trump just won. We're like, But now it's like, it's so cool that we're in a different place. I'm interviewing you from the View family. And, it's uplifting and we're thinking positive and we got this. It's just so crazy. What I want to say to you is that I love someone who dreams big, and I also love someone who follows their gut. And you did that. You went to Smith College, you got your BA in government, but then you decided after, hey, I think I want to be an actress. And I remember you telling your parents, and I think your dad was in the kitchen, you say slicing a tomato, and
Yes!
and then in the middle of Iowa, and then he's like, I didn't send you to Smith College to be an actress, but you're like, So you went to New York. I know you did the NBC Page program.
Yep.
At what point during that did you say to yourself, I think I want to use my voice and be me and not be these other characters? Like there had to be something to say like, I love actually me being me. At what point was that, did you decide?
Well, I wish it was as noble as the way you describe things. Mine was not getting callbacks. So I was auditioning and trying so hard and nothing was happening. And then I got this offer because I was always paying for acting classes. And there was a point where I thought, I've trained I trained in the evening program at Stella Adler, and there are courses you can get in front of casting agents. And I thought, that's not where I want to train, but to see how I'm doing and gauge my progress, I need to take one of those courses and see how it resonates. I did this commercial casting class, didn't resonate, but then I needed a third class to get this spring special or something, and it was TV hosting. And to me, that seemed so easy because I had always loved public speaking, and I was fine in my own skin. It was everything else I was trying that I wasn't getting feedback on. So I took the TV hosting, and for the first time in maybe ever, I was the one people were looking at in the room. Like I did well. That wasn't nerve-wracking for me. I loved public speaking. I loved improving, being asked a question and answering on my feet. That stuff I could do. Tell me to read a script and you were going to see the clunkiest 8th grade acting class you've ever seen. So I, in that moment, realized I went for some auditions that the casting director in that class asked me to do, and I got the job.
Wow.
And it was the first time I saw traction. And I thought, wow, I guess you could marry the public speaking and everything I'd done my whole life with not being someone else, but owning my own voice. And that gives you hosting. And when I started hosting was when I actually saw movement. And so it was kind of the experience. I wish it was a moment I woke up and thought, I'm going to use my voice for good. And it wasn't that.
God, but Sarah, I relate to you in that because like I thought I always wanted to be an actor. I mean, even Oprah Winfrey surprised me in my dad's grocery store here in Chicago and made a dream come true and got me a small role on Will and Grace. And then I did like little things here and there. But it was at some point I just felt like, I think I had that dream. I want to be an actor. I want to be like Joan Collins on Dynasty. But it was just a vision, but it's not really what I wanted to do. And then little by little, then I started working on The Talk and then at the Ellen Show. And I'm like, oh, no. I grew up watching talk shows. I mean, I've been watching The View since it premiered in 1997.
96, wasn't it? Or
96, 97. Yeah, so I've been watching it. And so it's like, I'm like, no, this is what I want to be doing. So, and you've been doing this like every year after year, you put in the hard work. And then in 2014, you told Cosmopolitan, which I love this, you said, if I could snap my fingers and have the ultimate dream job, I would love to co-host a show with the format to Kelly Michael, Kathleen Hoda, or The View. And then you're getting email like saying, hey, like, can you come be a guest co-host on The View? I can't even imagine what you were thinking when you get this email. And then you've been putting this out even before 2014,
So I was on a plane coming back from Italy, your home country.
Yay! Grazie, Bella.
I had gone on I don't know if I can say this on here, but an F cancer trip with Amy Robach.
Okay.
She had come out of her cancer, and there was a girl. We went on a girl trip. I'm in the plane, and I had Wi-Fi, which I don't always splurge on the Wi-Fi, but I did. And an email came through, and it said that The View would like you to fill in once for a guest co-host.
Wow.
I had my mini freak out telling the guy in 14C about this big moment because I had no one else to tell. So I'm squealing on the plane, like looking around, like, who can I tell? This is amazing. And I remember I got back, I wasn't married yet, but I was with my husband. And I said, I'm framing this email asking me to, and it wasn't even from The View directly. It was through an agent that said, they'd like you to come. And I thought, I'm done here. Like my work is done here. I've arrived at The View. And that email was going to be my framed proof that, not that you can always get what you want, but it kind of justified my whole journey by having a shot of filling in one day at the View, and that's all I needed.
Wow, that is so crazy. And then then you're a permanent co-host, a season 20, and you get to work with two icons. And I remember even like when they have the intro of The View and you do that wave, like they had it the first couple, I'm like, I bet you she watched this so many times, like when she does that wave, like over and over and over.
Well, you don't even understand. So it feels like a century ago when we actually walked out on that stage.
Yeah.
I never once let myself hear that song without, so we're on a stage and we look at a screen here and then walk around the corner and look over the opposite way. Every day when I heard the music, it was a meditative reaction. This is my pause moment. I paused, I watched it. Every time it said, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then I'd walk out.
Wow.
Because I thought the second you let go of those little containers of utter joy, excitement, perspective, dreams, those moments that you just wanted something and then you got it. The second you lose it, the magic starts to fade. And so I've always told myself, I remember when I got into the Page program and I was in Kansas at my sister's and I got the call, no, I didn't get a call. I called in because it was a time where they sent letters and I hadn't gotten one. And they said, actually, we're going to go ahead and tell you this because you haven't gotten it, but you're in. I cried. I squealed. My mom was like, $10 an hour, you're going to have a really hard time surviving on that. I don't think this is the right move. And no one else was excited. I remember telling myself, my life just changed. I don't know what it looks like, but my life just changed. I still can channel that excitement from the Page program because the secret to life is holding on to those moments and putting them on a shelf and always honoring them.
Wow. I hope you do take it in because your career has been really amazing to watch. And I know, you've been through so much in your life, but you have this amazing family, your beautiful husband, your 3 kids, you're working on daytime's #1 talk show. And I know this is such a crazy world that we live in, but I hope you do take it in and say, wow, these things I continue to accomplish day after day. It's so inspiring to watch, really, it is. So, yeah.
Well, I always say to anyone that's ever dreamt it, because I know how it feels to be dreaming it, that I promise you I'm honoring it with the gratitude any one of us would want to give that role. I never take it for granted. And that is my message to people that say, oh, I would do anything to have your job. I'm like, trust me, I'm never taking it for granted for people like you.
Yeah.
I dreamt it too. So I'm honoring it for all of us.
Thank you. And speaking of honoring, I love when you talk about your brother, Joe, on the show. I know you grew up in a conservative family, but when you talk about your brother, and I think I read that he was the man of honor for your wedding as well. But when you talk about him, I see that special bond you two have. So I'm going to ask you, because you grew up in a conservative family, what's the one thing that you really learned from your brother that you're like, wow, that it just really got to you?
That you can be programmed with any belief, not even consciously, but that life is too short not to search every day for where you are inside, whether it's your who you love, whether it's your message and what you have to say, whether it's where you'll find you're happy. Life is about shedding the shoulds. If you find yourself saying, I should do this, you probably shouldn't, because the should is the weight we carry around every day. And the fact that Joe, right next to me, took that journey, this is the part that hurts me when I cried and my volleyball coach, my very lesbian volleyball coach at Smith, that I was sad. She said, you're sad your brother's gay. I said, no, I'm sad that he went through all this right next to me and I couldn't be there with him. That was a journey he had to take and I was right next to him and yet so far away. So I think the fact that in all that we had learned and taught, and my parents weren't preachy parents, so it was more the example they showed us, probably church, the things around us, our community. We, like sponges, like kids do, we became all those things. And yet Joe, knowing what he needed, what he wanted, what was who he was, he did it with going against everything. And the bravery of that, it is actually easier to probably stuff it down and choose a life that is easier, that doesn't come with as much flack. There are people everywhere around this world that my heart mourns for, that are in relationships and in situations that aren't true for them.
Yeah.
And it takes people that are saying, I won't accept less, and to do it at such a, Joe, some people come out earlier, but Joe was ready to talk about that at 18. And I think that was so young. One of his most serious boyfriends came out at 40. That's a different time. It's never too late, but it's a different time. Yeah. So I look back, and with every passing day, I'm prouder of him, that he did it in the face of nothing that supported him.
Oh God, that makes me get emotional. That's beautiful. I was engaged with a girl who's my best friend today, and she was a part of our wedding when we got married. And we were gonna get married, and then I just felt, I knew, I was seeing a therapist, that things just weren't. It wasn't where I needed to be, but I thought it was because how I grew up being Catholic with my family. But that's why every time you talk about the LGBTQ plus on The View, I love it because I feel like there are so many kids out there who are struggling, who don't want to come out yet because they're scared. So every time you make it a safe place to say, hey, you come out when you're ready, and you got someone who loves you. So I thank you for that every time you talk about it on The View, really, okay?
Well, I thank you, Paolo, and I long for the times that the world will be like Love, Simon, when a gay child doesn't have to address sexual things or sexuality to a parent because I didn't have to.
Yeah.
And so why should anyone have to look at their parents? It's gross enough to think about anything sexual while looking at your parents. The fact that children who are gay have to look and say anything referring to sex is just an unfair thing. Like, none of us should have to. So I love talking about it now just to make my parents squirm a little.
Yeah. Are you guys for the holidays, will you be home with your family? Or I know things are changing because of the pandemic, or are you going to be with the kids and your husband and you guys just be cooking at home together?
So Christmas is a huge Haines holiday. Normally we are all together. We flock toward each other because we're childlike. We still literally sit on the floor and listen to my dad as grown adults. Not for the children, not for the grandbabies, for the originals. We sit and listen to A Night Before Christmas. We have very regimented tradition of what we do. We eat lobster every Christmas Eve. Everything is very specific. This year, just for the health of all of us, we will be not together because I have one sister in California who will be doing Christmas with her husband and 2 boys. And then my oldest sister does live near my parents now, so she'll be with them.
Oh, good. Okay.
Max and I will be with the kids in the Jers. And then my brother, he's single presently and alone, so he had 2 options. He could stay here and come to our place or go home. And I think he's going to quarantine and go to be with my parents because like anyone, you always know how many years do you have left. So I think he wants to make that journey.
Of course.
So,
you have such a beautiful family. Okay, we're going to end with this. It's Christmas time. We got to get you something. So we have a stocking here with your name on here. Okay, so we got some goodies inside it's a little bit different because we're Zooming. You're there in New York. I'm here in Chicago.
Yes.
So, okay, now close your eyes while I pull some stuff out of the stocking. Don't look. Okay, so, okay, now you can open your eyes. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to donate to some causes that we know are important to you. So we're going to start with this because we know you're a dog lover, and in memory of Trixie and Peter, we are going to donate $100 to the Humane Society of New York. So start with that for you.
Thank you so much. That literally makes me cry a little. I have a bracelet with their initials on, and thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to be donating, in honor of you, Sara, $100 to the Trevor Project, which we know does so much great work for LGBTQ plus community. So that's another one. And then the final one, okay, is we are going to be donating $100 to Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research in honor of your mom and all those living with Parkinson's, okay?
Full heart. Paolo, this is like the most touching personal thing you could give me. Like, each one is just so near and dear to me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. That is the best gift you could give me.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. Because the best gift you can give me is being a guest on a Spoonful of Paolo, okay? Really, Sara Haines, I love you. I love watching you on The View. And I just have to say, you're a good listener. You're a good listener on that show. And I can't wait to see you on The Chase on ABC. It premieres on January 7th, Thursday. I'm so, so, so excited for you. And I just want to wish you continued success because you deserve every ounce that comes your way, really.
Paolo, you are the best. This was better than I even expected, and I already knew I loved you. But I really hope our paths cross again soon. Whether the roles are reversed and I interview you instead, because I have so many questions.
Okay.
But thank you, not only for this opportunity, but for your enthusiasm. And you clearly, you have so much sweet, reflective light, and the donations just are the cherry on top. I always say the one thing we want in life is for someone to get us, to truly understand us. And those donations are proof that we may not know each other well, but you know me very well.
Oh, amen.
Thank you.
No, you're the best. Thank you, Sara. Yeah, just happy
Kiss your
holidays.
hugs for me too.
Okay, okay.
I know he's there.
Patrick, he's next door making sure everything's going good. Yes, we love you. Merry
You
Christmas,
guys are
happy
the best.
holidays.
I love you.
We love you too. Happy holidays to you and your entire family. Okay.
Ditto.
And
to
your
both
husband,
of your family.
your husband is cute, by the way. He's like adorable. I just have to say that.
He's so hot, right?
Yeah, tell Max, 10 out of 10. Okay, and your kids are adorable too. Okay, we love you. Have a great day. Okay.
Love you guys.
Love you
Thank
too.
you.
Bye, Sara. Bye. Bye.
Bye.